Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jade, also known as the Style Book on YouTube and Instagram. Hope you guys had a great week. I am so excited to be back on the channel to do an unboxing with you guys. This one has actually been requested for quite some time now. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you've heard of the whole story for this bag. But for my YouTube family, I haven't really talked about this specific handbag because it's been a bit of a journey to get this one into my collection. So I wanted to take my time with it. As you guys probably could guess, this is not a big box, so it's most likely to be a smaller bag. It is a Quota bag. It's a very special piece that I've been searching for a very long time, and it took a really long time to get this one into my collection. My SA and I had to really work on it because it's not something they can offer to anyone. It had to be approved by the management, so it was quite of a hassle. But let me unbox it with you guys. We'll go over some details and then I'll do a bit of storytelling. So here it is. Ta-da! You guys have seen it already in my last video. If you watched my vlog to Paris, this beautiful lady made an appearance in that video and a couple of you guys have asked me about it. And so today I'm here to share my whole story on this bag. As you can see, this is a Birkin 25 in the color Noir with gold hardware, and it's in Porosus Crocodile. So there's actually three types of crocodile alligator bag that HERMÈS does. The more common one is just standard alligator. There's, I think, American and Australian. Don't quote me on that, I'm not completely sure. And then there's crocodiles, which there's Mino or Porosus. So this is a Porosus crocodile bag. You can tell the difference by the scale size and whether or not there's little dots on the scale or not. Only crocodiles have the little dots, whereas alligators don't. Alligator also tend to have more rounded, bigger scales, whereas for this one, you can see it's very small, tight with the scales. So it opens up like a normal Birkin. It's still a little bit stiff because it's new. And for this part, it's pretty easy to damage the leather. So I actually just like to push up the metal piece to open the bag so that it doesn't scratch the actual leather. Here it is without the felt. As you guys can see, she is gorgeous, super stunning, and very symmetric, which those of you guys that have been following me for a while knows that I'm a little bit OCD, so I'm really happy that this one is super symmetric. And honestly, the leather feels so luxurious. After I got this piece, I honestly had a hard time going back to normal leathers. I feel like exotics are just so precious and it feels so classy and elegant. It's built like a normal Birkin 25. There's really not much that's different. As you guys can see, there's the buckles that goes like this. The handle drops are tiny. We can do a measurement in another video. If you guys haven't seen, I've done a detailed Birkin 25 Retourne versus Cellier review, which I'll attach it for you guys to look at. But the inside basically is normal chef skin. I have left the paperwork for this bag inside because you have to keep it with a handbag in case you want to travel. They need to see where it's from. And there's a clochette, which is my favorite part of the bag. As funny as it is, because the clochette is also in crocodile leather. Isn't it just so gorgeous? It's so funny because I told my SA the first exotic bag I want would be a Birkin 25 or a Kelly 25 because I just really wanted the exotic clochette. I don't know, they're just so unique and pretty. Not that I would ever use it, but it's just a nice little thing to have. So now that we are done with the unboxing, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my journey to acquire this piece. It's been quite a very long journey. I expressed my interest in getting an exotic Birkin 25. I think maybe 2 years ago, you guys would have seen it in my first ever luxury wishlist video that I was after something exotic. So it was quite of a difficult process, especially in Paris, I think they only offer exotics to real VIPs, so it was more difficult for me at least to acquire than a normal Quota bag. Initially, I was thinking of getting something in a lighter color because I'm young. I didn't really want something super mature, or if it was black, I wanted palladium hardware, but in the end, this was the one I was offered, and after seeing it in person and falling in love with Porosus Crocodile, I decided to take it. I also wanted to show you guys quickly actually pictures from the day where I was offered the bag. As you guys can see, I was actually offered two different bags. So there's this one, the black with gold hardware, Porosus Retourne Birkin 25, and then there was a Retourne Birkin 25 Cellier, which was so cool with palladium hardware. And honestly, in the moment, I was very tempted by that bag, the green one, because it was very young, it felt very refreshing, and it felt very different. But after comparing for a bit, speaking with my friends, I decided to go with something a little bit more classic for my first bag. I know it looks a little bit mature, and definitely it gives off a more, I guess, mature and elevated vibe, but I think as my first and forever exotic piece in my collection, this was ultimately the right decision. That was how I ended up with this bag, but the complicated part of the story comes after I've taken the handbag home. I unboxed it, and then I realized that the original bag I was offered actually had some problems. The leathers weren't perfect. There were a bit of like marks throughout the body of the handbag, and I was frankly speaking quite devastated because it was a very expensive purchase that I've worked towards for such a long time. So obviously I messaged my SA, eventually got time to take the bag back, and it was sent to HERMÈS spot. So that kind of ended there. Nobody knew what was gonna happen. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and during that time I became pretty inactive on social media. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed, because it was such a shocking experience. I feel like HERMÈS have always had a really special place in my heart, and I've always really loved the brand. I still do, and that have not changed, but that was just a little bit of a hiccup in the relationship. But at the end, after I think 5 months, I was offered this specific one, which is not the initial bag I was offered and bought. This is actually a replacement I was given to replace the original bag that had some problems. So my SA had really worked super hard to be able to get me this bag, and he checked rigorously for me the second time around to make sure it was the perfect bag, and in fact it is the perfect one, and I'm so happy now that I have this bag in my possession. Definitely put me off on getting exotics for a little bit, but as you guys know, now I'm more comfortable. It's been a year since I was offered the initial bag, and it's been 6 months since I've had this specific bag. There's great people at the brand that have really helped me through this process and showed that they really care. So at the end of the day, I'm happy with the bag I have now, and I'm still in a very good relationship with the brand. That's, I guess, a brief summary of what happened and why I kind of put off showing this bag to you guys, because I didn't know where I stood in that storyline and how I really feel about the whole thing. And that's also why this bag hasn't been used until this month, basically, when I finally feel okay about it and taking it out, using it. I've made me realize I really do love this specific bag, and it acts, I guess, as a centerpiece of my collection. So yeah, that's my story. Nothing crazy, just going through things. Of course, there's greater things in life, and I come to realize there's more important things to worry about than a little handbag that had defects. But again, I think at least if you are like me, you're collecting HERMÈS because you appreciate the beauty of it, you appreciate the craftsmanship, it is still an important part of the experience that the products you're getting are as close to being perfect as possible, kind of ignoring possible human errors. It should be the top of what luxury and quality stands for. That's basically it. I will do a more in-depth review on this bag on a later day once I have used it a little bit more. There's definitely a few things you have to keep in mind if you're also thinking of getting an exotic piece, specifically alligator or crocodile, into your collection. They are really afraid of water. You have to be very careful if you're wearing your exotic handbags in the rain. That's like one of the biggest things, just like box leather, that can damage the handbag. The other thing is oil lissé, which is the shiny crocodile leather is more afraid of water. And then I would say the matte ones are more afraid of oil. So like hand cream, any oils from cooking, anything like that, if it gets on the bag, it can leave a stain. Ring tends to dry off okay on matte alligator and crocodile. It's just a little bit of context, and I live in London, so that doesn't really help. My friend also have an exotic and he's used it. The matte ones are definitely better, and he's used it in the ring. It survived, it dried off okay, but fair warning, these are not carefree handbags to have. They're definitely a very special piece you keep in your wardrobe and to wear for special occasions. Of course, if you have a big heart, you can wear a dates day, but I really like to take care of my stuff, so definitely not a dates day bag for me, but a very special piece that I'm super happy to add to my collection, finally feel comfortable using and sharing with you guys here on YouTube. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.